Today we're going to go over slope and y-intercept. This is heavily tested on the STAR test, so you need to be very familiar with all of this information. Remember that in y equals mx plus b, write it right here. The m is the what? The m is the slope, also known as rate. The b, what is the b? The b is the y-intercept, also known as one-time fee or starting amount. So that's what we're finding today when we find the slope and the y-intercept. So on the STAR test, instead of saying the word slope, they might say the word rate. They might say, what is the rate? And they're just asking for the slope. So remember that on our STAR chart, right here, where it says slope of a line, these three things are the way that we find slope. I have taught y'all to use stat instead of this formula. And then if it's a graph, you can do rise over run. All right. So what is this called right here? That is a table. Where would you find slope and y-intercept on a table? Stat. So everybody write stat right here. All right, let's go over how to use stat. So everybody go to the button that says stat right here. I'm going to wait for everybody to get there. Okay, go to edit. And then you are simply going to type in the numbers. Now remember, if you arrow up and hit delete, it will delete the entire list and your whole stat button will be messed up. So don't do that. If you need to clear it out, go up and hit clear, and that will not delete the list. Okay? So we're going to type in the X's for L1. So 0, enter. 3, enter. 6, enter. And 9. You can, but there's no need to be in any type of mode today. All right, go to L2, type in 4, 6, 8, and 10. Does anybody have questions on how to type it in stat? Now to solve it, you're going to hit the stat button again. Everybody hit stat. We want it to calculate the answer, so arrow to calculate. I'm going to say it again. So hit stat again and arrow over to this calc. And what option are we going to choose? 4. It's linear. And if you look at it, it's mx plus b, but for some reason the calculator calls it ax plus b. So option 4, and then just hit enter and it will give you the answers. Y'all got it? The slope is the A. The y-intercept is the B. Now, what is 0.66666 repeating? Does anybody know it as a fraction? 2/3. If you don't know that, 0.6, I think it'll do it for you if you just type it in like this, hit math, fraction, enter, and it shows you it is 2/3. So the slope is 2/3. The y-intercept was 4. Then it said, what is the equation that represents this? So you're going to take these numbers and put it into that equation. So it's y equals 2/3 x plus 4. Any questions? This next one, what is this called? This is called a graph. You can use stat, but you would have to come up with 2 coordinates. Or you can use rise over run. It's totally up to you. Now let's talk about the y-intercept. The y-intercept is where the line touches the y-axis. Here is the y-axis. Where is this line touching the y-axis? At 3. Everybody agree, yes? Now to do rise over run, you need another dot. This is not a good dot. This is not a good dot. This is not good. Is this one good? Yes. So in order to do rise over run, you start at the lower dot and rise up equal to this dot. So how far did I rise up? 1, 2, 3. That's my rise. And then my run is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm not done because I ran up and left. Left is negative. And you should know that because slope dude would say nice negative from left to right. So my slope is negative 3/4. Now, if you do not like doing rise over run, like I said, could you have used stat? But what would you need? 2 coordinates. These 2 coordinates, you would need their value. So I'll show you. You don't have to do it. Just pay attention. You could have gone to stat, edit. Now watch how I clear everything out. I go up here and hit clear. Clear. All right. I could have put this coordinate in, which is 4, 0. Now look how I put it in as a coordinate 4, 0. And this coordinate on the x-axis is 0, 3. I could have hit stat calc, option 4, and the slope is negative 0.75. Isn't that the same thing? And the y-intercept is 3. Is that exactly what I got? So you choose if you want to use stat or rise over run. Rise over run is more risky because you might forget the negative sign if it's going down. But it is super easy just to count a rise and a run. Okay, now let's write the equation. Y equals negative 3/4 x plus 3. That's the negative slope. The only reason this one would have a negative is if it's touching the y-axis below 0. All right, this one, there's no math to do. Everybody write this. Y equals mx plus b. This means this is the slope because it is in the slope spot. And this is the y-intercept because it's in the y-intercept spot. Okay, so the slope was negative 2/3. And the y-intercept is what? It is not positive 6, it is negative 6. And then the equation, you would just write it exactly the same. Y equals negative 2/3 x minus 6. Okay, I am going to give you 1 minute to do the next one on your own. You may either use stat or you may use rise over run. Do it on your own now. I don't see everybody doing it. Choose if you're going to do rise over run or stat. If you're going to use stat, you need 2 coordinates so that you can put them in. All right, which way did y'all choose to do it? Rise over run. If you chose rise over run, you need 2 coordinates. Is it touching right here? Yes or no? What is that point called? What is it called? The Y-intercept. Can I go ahead and write that down? Now I need another dot. Does it matter what dot I use? I can't use this one. Could I use this one? Yes. Could I have used this one? Yes. No matter what I do, when I simplify the fraction, it will give me the same. So if I rise here, what is my rise? 1. What is my run? 2. Is it going up, positive, or down, negative? And you know that because up and right are both positive. So positive, positive. So my slope is 1/2. So my equation is y equals 1/2 x minus 4. Huh? If you put 2/4, it's the same answer, but it is not simplified. So look, if you put 2/4 in your calculator, watch what happens. It becomes, so you must simplify it. It is correct, it's just not simplified.
So simplify it.
Always simplify it. All right, do the next one on your own. This one's easy. It should take you literally 5 seconds. There's no math. What's the slope? What's the y-intercept? Nobody should even have a calculator in their hand. We're on this one. You don't need a calculator. All right, what's the slope? Don't say x. X is not part of the slope. The slope is 3. What is the y-intercept? -6. You can't forget the negative sign. And then the equation is y equals 3x minus 6.
Why wouldn't you say that the 3 is ahead?
It is with the x. The x is not part of the slope. The slope is 3.
Oh.
You know it's the slope because it's attached to the x, but the x is not part of the slope. All right, this one, how would you do it? Stat. Everybody go do it right now. So you're going to go to stat. Now what do I hit? Edit. I need to clear out my list. Now that my list is in, where do I go? Stat calc 4. What is the slope? -1. What is the y-intercept? -7. And if I write my equation, it is y equals -1x minus 7. Now I'm going to say this again. You have to be able to interpret the slope is the rate, the y-intercept is the one-time fee or starting amount. So I could have asked you on this picture, what's the starting amount? And you should go straight to the y-intercept because you know that's what it means. I should say, what is the rate of change? And you know that means slope, rise over run. Everybody understand? Okay, go to the Google Classroom, and then you will get me to check your answers one time only. When you're finished, You need to make sure you have no missing work, and if you do not, then you are getting on IXL.